Welcome to In My Head, the after live recorded session because our internet dropped. But when you get lemons, you make iced tea and put lemons in it. Because that's how I like my iced tea, Ben.
Yeah, I think that's how the quote goes. Something like that.
I'm holding something in my hand and there's light on it, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
You guys want to see what it is?
Absolutely.
Let me show you. Quick, everyone close your eyes.
Okay, we're closing our eyes. Okay,
It's one of those wig caps, but it fits my whole face.
I don't like that. Doesn't look.
Here, let me help. There we go.
Oh, much better. Okay.
Now it only covers my ears, and it's kind of like a groovy space helmet.
I was thinking that it looks like a space helmet.
Yeah.
Space sleeve. Yeah.
Oh, there's a hole in the top. Now I'm gonna go bald. I don't like that.
No, me either.
Speaking of wig caps, we have a great show for you today. We are talking about giving kids in your kids ministry a platform and a voice, and then watching what God will do when you do that. We have a very special guest. This is one of my favorite people on the planet, and he's actually sitting right over there. And he probably heard that for the first time. I hope it doesn't put too much in his head, but I'm really proud of this guy. And when I thought of the idea of bringing him on, I immediately thought, he is a great example of giving kids a platform. But before we go to my special guest today, we're going to start right off because I think, Ben, how many books a week do you read?
Books a week do I read?
I'm putting him on the spot here. It's
right.
my son we're talking about.
Totally. Now, what counts as a book?
Videos count, don't they?
Sure. I mean, if there's words in it, right? That's
sure.
the case.
Good job, son.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go right to Book of the Week. Let's get it going.
Okay.
Our book this week, when you give people a platform in your kids ministry, whether it's a teammate or a child or a student leader, whoever you give opportunity to, they immediately begin to grow. But I just want to say, don't be the kind of leader that is self-absorbed, thinks they have to do everything themselves, thinks that if they don't do well, the whole program is going to fail. I hope there's no one out there like that. But when you give people a platform and a voice, it actually makes you better. I know because it's made me better. I love putting people in places and watching them grow, and then they challenge me to get better. And I just love that so much. So our book today is by Peter Scazzaro, and it's called...
Yeah, there you go.
The Emotionally Healthy Leader. I want to be an emotionally healthy leader. I hope that I am. But I want to read you guys something from this really, really good. Establish a rule of life. The term rule of life has its linguistic roots in an ancient Greek word that means trellis. A trellis is a support structure that enables plants, such as a grapevine, to get off the ground, grow upward, and become fruitful. A beautiful image of what a rule of life is and how it functions. It is a support structure that helps us grow up and abide in Christ. This in turn enables our lives to thrive spiritually and our leadership to be abundantly fruitful. See, as leaders, if we're not growing fruit, if we're not producing something, then it's like that tree that just burns up, withers, and has no fruit. As soon as I became a kids pastor here at Destiny, my job really is to start training up my replacement. Now, if you're ever from Destiny and you're watching this, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. But I've got to be training up people that can replace me. People that, because this ministry is not about me. This ministry is not about any one person. It's about all of us together serving the kingdom, serving Christ, and allowing others to be discipled, allowing others to find Christ and find God, and all the wonderful things that we do as spiritual leaders. I want to challenge you guys in today's episode that even though as leaders, and I'm saying even as your group of leaders, there's kids that are sitting in those seats that you could probably learn a lot from. And there's kids out there just dying to have a platform and a space and a voice so that they can express the things that God put in their heart. I want to show you a quick clip. Our special guest today's name is Simon Isaac. I'm extremely proud of this young man. He has turned into a giant, and I just want to show you a quick clip. This is a little bit about Simon.
Hello, my name is Savage Simon. I'm a hip-hop music artist who loves to sing, rap, and dance. You probably came across the title of this video and wanted to answer the question, what does music mean to you? I'll leave that answer up to you guys. Here's what it means to me. As a young toddler, I used to watch my dad and his a cappella group on TV. I would stand on the couch with my plastic microphone and try to do what they did on stage. And boy, was that only the beginning. Years later, I started learning to dance from my dad and then self-taught myself from videos on the internet. This eventually led me getting to perform at my first school talent show. After doing that show, the response from the audience was so great that I wanted to keep going and perfect my stagecraft even better. Once I started high school and saw people performing at our rallies, I wanted to start doing it as well. That was when I started getting noticed for my stagecraft and began writing and producing my own music. This was also when my friends started calling me Savage Simon, which I eventually did keep as my stage name. My ultimate goal with my music is I want to become a professional music artist and performer who spreads positivity and inspiration around the world. Music to me brings me joy and freedom because I cannot help but dance to the hardcore funky songs, and I love to hear great messages and stories through good lyrical songs or slow jams. Music is something that has stuck with me throughout my life as my great escape to creativity, where I can express love and tell my story through it. It is something the Lord has given me to use with great purpose, and I will never let that go. If you have a serious passion for music or any other interest, don't ever let that go. Use that passion you have to the best of your advantage because you'll never know where it will take you. If you continue to stay curious and relentless about it, I promise you it will be one of the coolest adventures you will ever take. So that's what music means to me. I would like to know, what does music mean to you? Leave a comment down below and be sure to subscribe for new videos every Friday on this channel. Also, if you would like to check out some of my music, search up Savage Simon on any big music platforms to find my music there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Simon, welcome. I guess now it's in our head.
Yeah, exactly.
It's in our head. It's not just in my head. It's in our head.
Yeah.
It's actually always been our head because Ben's here too. Right, Ben?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he over there.
Well, Simon, you have, I just said you have become a giant because I've watched since you were a little kid.
Right.
And I remember you were getting into rap and some dances, and I was always really amazed at your dance moves.
Thank you.
So before we start going farther, I want to have a little fun here.
Okay.
You're a pretty good dancer, as we just saw in the video.
Yes.
Right. Well, you know how I just said a little bit ago that there's kids that sit in the seats, like you sat in the seats as a
Right.
kid, right? How old are you now?
I'm now 19.
19.
Yep.
Okay. But there's kids that you can actually learn. I mean, there's a lot we can learn from kids, right?
Exactly.
So
yes.
I've been watching you for a while, and I just have to say I've been picking up some dance moves.
Oh, have you now?
Yeah, yeah. So Ben, get that music ready, and give me just a sec to get my dance shoes on.
Okay, go right ahead.
Okay, Ben, I'm ready for that music whenever you are.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Now, Simon,
Yeah.
this is called the pop and lock. Ready?
Yeah.
Now, Simon, here's a moonwalk for you.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Now, Simon, I actually invented a new dance. and
Okay.
It's called the spasm. Okay.
Okay. Show me.
So, what do you think? Good dancer?
Very unique. I will give you that.
Do you think people would follow me on the Snapgram and all that stuff?
I'd say eventually, yes, they would.
Hey, Ben has something to say.
Oh, I just can we change the name of that dance to the Rabid Raccoon?
The rabbit raccoon.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah.
apparently I have a lot more to learn.
You do.
But I want to ask you, how did you get interested in hip hop and rap? And I'm not even going to address yet the other hobby that you have.
Right.
But how did you get interested in hip hop and rap? What's your start there?
So I really started more so just performing in general first, because as a kid, my dad had acapella group called 3, 5, and 6 off of the Bible verse Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, and they had this tape that they just wanted to play it after, like, just so my dad could review it. I would stand on the couch, as you guys saw in the video, with that plastic microphone, and I would stand on the couch and just do what my dad did. So, because he was the rapper, he would beatbox a little bit, so I just did what he did as much as I could. And the reason I'd stand on the couch is because there was a mirror across the room. So I stood there so I could see myself in the mirror. So that's how I first got into it, and then progressively throughout elementary school, middle school, talent shows would just pop up, and I got to watch other artists that my parents grew up with, such as like New Edition, Bobby Brown, Michael Jackson's my personal favorite still today. I watched all of them so much and just kind of drew from them. I tried to learn moves from them as much as I could, and from there just did it on stage and just to see what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, and then eventually that led into like hip hop and me writing my own music, because I'm not the best singer. I know I could sing a little bit, but rap is more my strong suit.
Well, you're a lot better than I am, and I think you know that.
I have dared this man to go and sing at a coffee shop, like open mic or something, and it was amazing.
I've done a lot of embarrassing things, and to this day, that still embarrasses me.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
How would it not?
Terrible.
But yes, I guess you could say that's kind of how I progressed into getting into performing, and now I've got to perform here at Destiny, performed at many different places across California, and even in some other places.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I love the fact that your parents have supported you all along the way.
Yes.
And, you know, as a kids pastor, being able to, you know, your parents are amazing, and to be able to come alongside and to support in whatever way, I think that's a perfect picture of how kids ministries can work together with parents to, you know, when the Bible says to train up a child in the way that they should go.
Yes.
Parents know, I mean, your parents obviously know you more than anyone, you know, more than anyone else knows you.
Right.
You know, I would get to spend 45 minutes a week and sometimes more with you each week. So
right.
The relationship between parents and kids pastors is important because that's part of the support process.
Exactly.
For you. I want to talk about kids ministry for just a second with
Sure.
you. Do you have a favorite moment?
Okay.
In kids ministry when you were in my kids program?
When I was in your kids program. I'd say when one of the times when you did Reporter Harry. So if you guys don't know, Reporter Harry is one of my favorite characters that this guy created. He's like my absolute favorite out of all of them. Probably the time.
Wait, Reporter Harry is not me. I didn't.
He's not Reporter Harry. I'm talking about you created Reporter Harry.
I think he created himself.
Or he created himself. Something happened. Something happened. He just came out of the abyss of something. But something along the lines where you introduced him and he was just bugging the heck out of Caleb. Which is another youth
It's a common
leader.
theme.
It's a common thing. He just messes around with everybody. I don't and it's just so funny to watch this guy who is, I guess, I don't know, just out of his mind. He doesn't know exactly what he's doing. And what the heck is going on?
Oh, just keep going.
There's bubbles. Okay. So I'd say, yeah, that's my favorite moment. Seeing Reporter Harry just do his crazy things. I can still laugh my head off today watching him.
Right.
And just not, just I don't care what he's talking about. I don't care what's going on. He's just the funniest man I've ever seen. And why is there bubbles? What's going on?
Probably something Reporter Harry did.
That's what I'm guessing. Why is there bubbles going? I mean, cool.
Okay, so as a kid growing up in kids ministry,
yes.
How important was it to you to have? Because I remember there was times where I remember seeing you dance, and I was like, man, I really want you to dance for our kids, like, you know, and to rap and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You remember some of those times that I had you and your brother do that?
Yes.
Were you scared at all when you started? Like, were you nervous in front of the other kids? Because those kids were basically your peers.
Yeah.
So how did you feel?
Back then, nah, I wouldn't say I was too scared. Like, I wasn't really scared to perform at all. Maybe at, like, my first show. But after that one, it kind of just clicked. It was almost second nature to me. I've never been scared of going on a stage, no matter how big a crowd is or no matter how many people I know, like, who know me personally watching me. Like, it doesn't scare me.
It was a natural fit.
It's a natural fit, yes.
Yeah, so the times that you know, I remember having you perform in front of other kids, like, describe that feeling, if you can remember back that far, as a kid, giving space or giving time to be able to show what God had put in your heart.
You're talking about like what it felt like to be on stage.
Yeah,
doing
as a
that?
kid, being asked to like, hey, being recognized for the talents that you had or the passion that God put in your heart, and being able to have a platform,
Yeah.
and a microphone even,
Yeah.
to show that. Like, how did that feel as a kid?
As a kid, I'd say it was a huge blessing. Like not, and I did have to remember, like, I'm one of the only kids who got to do this, who's getting recognized out of like all the other kids in the at my school or at in your kids ministry. Is like I just feel felt very blessed and didn't I don't know. Yeah, that's really one way I would be able to describe it.
When you would perform as a kid, I know I'm asking a lot. Having
Yeah,
to
it's
go
all
back that
good.
far. When you would perform as a kid in our kids program and
Uh-huh.
even your school or whatever, would you have other kids that came up to you afterwards and said like that was cool or I would like to do that or something like? Did kids ever give you feedback?
But yeah, plenty of times. A lot of kids would they would congratulate me and give their feedbacks like that was so cool and other kids, they just chant my name. They would just start chanting Simon, like just out of
Simon,
nowhere.
Simon.
Exactly. That was the exact way that they did it. After one of the talent shows that I did I believe it was in 5th grade or something, that happened. They just started chanting it because everybody watched what happened that day.
Wow.
And it was just immense feedback. It was cool.
Well, there is a philosophy that I have in kids ministry, and that's kids love watching kids.
Exactly.
Kids
yes.
love listening to kids. Kids love seeing kids.
Yeah.
And there's a weird thing that happens when a kid takes the stage. The kids suddenly pay attention more.
Yeah.
So when you would take the stage and dance, whether it was at your school or at a church,
Yeah.
As a kid, there was other kids that were watching.
Yes.
And I know this to be true, that kids were, well, if he can do that, then I can do that.
Yeah.
and maybe that's not hip hop or dance, because
Yeah.
not all of us like you and I are blessed with hip hop and dance, and
Yeah.
right, Ben?
Right.
This guy has been blessed with many other things, though.
Other things.
Yes, other things.
I'm okay with that.
He could still perform, just in a different way. Let's put it that way.
Okay, so Simon, you have I love your story, and you are an inspiration because you were a kid and now you're a grown up.
Pretty much.
And you are an inspiration to kids because when you give kids platform and space and let them and allow them the little bit of wiggle room to grow and to and to make mistakes, because I'm sure you've had a lot of struggle in your process.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you explain some of the struggles in your process from growing up? And maybe it's not performing at church or wherever you did. What is some of the struggles that you've had, in learning your craft with, I'm sure you felt discouraged at times.
I'd say it's there's a couple in particular. One of them was back when I first started performing, like 4th or 5th grade, we discovered that I had dyslexia, which was it can be a couple different things. A lot of people say it's when you look at words or letters backwards, which I do quite often, but we just learn differently. So I learn a lot by pictures, visuals, and I can't read or comprehend very well as other people do. So that was just one factor. It didn't play too much into performing, but it's one thing I had to kind of mess with, because during the 4th and 5th grade, I didn't get as much support, like the right support I needed, for people who had, I guess what you would call learning disabilities or whatever. So there was that, and then also trying to live up. Back then, I would always try and live up to Michael Jackson, because he was, in my opinion, he was the greatest, and still kind of is today, even though he's long gone. It's trying to live up to those, the big name artists, and trying to be like them. That's what I thought performing was about. It's like I want to be like them. I want to be just as great as them.
I love that because as a kids pastor, I don't want kids necessarily saying I want to be like Pastor Sean.
Right.
But I've had kids that said, I want to be a kids pastor.
Right.
I want to be in kids ministry because they were inspired by something that they've seen, and I think that is very important for kids, that they latch on to something that they're inspired by, like Michael Jackson.
Yes.
And there's elements of his hands down, I think he's one of the greatest performers in the world has ever seen.
Agreed.
And so to see that and to try to copy that, it's not it's there's a saying, or it's actually scriptural. It's in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything's modified, adapted, and so you've seen things. Well, the great thing about you is you're not just about hip hop and dance.
Oh no,
there's another hobby that you have.
There is,
and
yes.
I want to show a quick video. Simon, you made this video.
Yes.
But more importantly, you actually made what's in this video all from scratch, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, check it out.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, first question.
Yes.
How long did that take you to make?
That one in particular, about, if you count it straight, 6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours.
Yes, but if that was like if I built it with no breaks at all, like built it straight up in one day, it would take 6 to 8 hours. But I built it over the course of like a week.
A week. Okay.
Yes.
And I noticed there's a room in your house that you do this, and your parents have basically let you take over this room.
Yes. However, I will say my parents are slowly starting to implement different. Like, we just renovated that entire room. Actually, we put hardwood floors, painted it, and put new shelving and a TV up in there as well. It looks super dope, but I still get to build in there. Yes.
So your parents give you space.
Yes.
And I think I want to take a little bit of a cue from your parents.
Yeah.
That when you give your kids space and you make room for them, just watch what will happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really impressed by that. And that coaster is a replica of something.
Yes, so that one in particular is a replica from the Joker from Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, the one in Vallejo, California. That is actually my #1 coaster I've ever ridden before.
I love that coaster.
Yes, same.
There's something smooth about that coaster.
Same here. Yes, exactly. And it's just such an intense ride that it's all the other coasters, they're good, but that one in particular, that's my #1. It differentiates itself from the rest of them.
Okay, how close in replica is it? Like, I mean, obviously not. It's a scaled version, but
right.
Like as far as the dips and the swoops and the tally hos, is that what they're called?
Tally hos.
They are now.
Yeah. How coaster? It's pretty dang close as I can get it. So whenever I build a recreation of a coaster in real life, I will do my best to find every picture that I can on Google Images. I'll go on Google Earth and put it in 3D mode so I can see all the supports, see where everything is.
Wow.
And to make sure it's 100% accurate to the original coaster.
Okay, here's a challenge for you. I want you to go. You have a YouTube channel.
Correct. Yes.
Roller Coaster Crafter.
Yes.
Go to Roller Coaster Crafter. Look up Joker. Go to Joker Ride in Vallejo.
Yes.
And just look at it and then go on the ride. That's your challenge.
Yes. Do it.
And you'll have more appreciation for what this guy has created. Well,
thank you.
Here's the fun part.
Yes.
I am very proud of you, Simon.
Thank you
for all that you've accomplished. And I got to have a very small part of that.
Right.
And I enjoyed having you as a kid, and listening to you laugh and saying things like, "Oh shoot," every time we did something crazy. But now I have a ministry here at Destiny,
Correct.
and we have a room called Chumpy's Mini Mart.
Yes.
In fact, I have a hat for you.
Okay. Oh.
There we go.
Let's go.
And
Shall we? Yes. Let's put this on.
Chumpy's Mini Mart.
I should feel like I'm at my job.
There we go.
I think yours is.
This is what we wear in the store. It's
Yes.
Chumpy's Mini Mart it's like a Chuck E. Cheese style store.
Correct.
That kids can earn Joe Bucks for, and they get, if they bring their Bible and all that stuff.
Yes.
But we don't want to just make a normal store. We want this place to be like an eclectic, weird, extravagant, like ridiculous place that has oddities in it.
Yes.
And one of the things that we're doing, we brought you in to build us a custom roller coaster for the store.
Yes.
Don't mind the Thestrals. Dead clever and useful they are. Right, off you go. We'll meet at the edge of the forbidden forest. Did see pixies, scroots, and unicorns. Oh, and I'd be grateful if you didn't mention any of this to anyone back at Hogwarts. See you next lesson.
So you built all of that. How long did that one take you?
Okay. So to be clear, that one I did not do alone, and that one in particular took 2.5 months.
Okay, and I noticed a special thanks was in there.
Yes.
And how important is it to thank the people that support you and help you?
Huge. I give a huge thanks to all those people I named in the credits for helping me build that thing. I couldn't have done that alone at all. It would have taken forever. Yeah.
And I'm sincerely impressed. And I'm also really excited to see what you're going to create for us. And
Yes.
the crazy full circle thing here is that you were a kid in the kids ministry, and your talent, your passion that God has given you was, you found out what that was, and you were able to have a platform for it. And now to bring you back in as someone who's going to help me out in my kids program,
Yes.
the kids are very excited about this roller coaster.
Oh boy.
I mean, and some of them actually have asked, "Can I ride it?"
I wish you could, kids. Let's give you some of the Pimtech serum, and then we can shrink you in to put you on this coaster.
Wait, we can't ride this?
No, you. Unless you can shrink yourself into Ant-Man, sure.
I'll talk to Professor Smigley about it.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Can you recreate the Pim particle, Professor Smigley?
Yeah, he can do anything.
Okay.
He's capable.
Okay.
Well, Simon, there's so much to you, and as there is so much, wow. This is a good thing this is getting edited.
Yeah.
There's so much to all the kids that are sitting right in front of us, and I think as a kids pastor, it's my duty to find out what's in each kid, what was in you, and
Correct.
I am really honored that you would come on and talk to us today.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me.
There's kids pastors that watch this, and
Okay.
so as someone who's a previous kid in kids ministry, I'm laying this on you last second because I want to show another performance that you did that I just am really blown away by.
Okay.
But what is some advice that you would give to kids pastors?
To
I
kids
know you're not a
pastors.
kids pastor, and
Right,
you're probably
yeah.
like, I don't want to give advice to a kids pastor because they know more than me. Okay, no, we have things to learn from each other.
Correct.
Let me ask it this way: what is advice you would give me as a kids pastor, or any kids pastor for that matter?
Okay.
That when it comes to giving their kids a space and a place and a voice.
I would say, one to kind of, just hear what they want to do, because kids they really say whatever, like all the time. It's like, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be this, I want to be that. They don't know the limitations of anything. They just dream big. That's why I love working with kids and all that, because they're just straight up. They'll just say what's on their mind, and then actually if you give in a little bit to what they're actually saying, then just like you said, just watch what happens, because you never know what's gonna happen. My parents thought I was going to outgrow Kinects after we got the first roller coaster, and look at it now. I have like over a couple 100,000 pieces of Kinects to build those coasters with, and I now run a YouTube channel where I am constantly growing a fan base and just showcasing my talent, because I would ultimately like to own a theme parks in the future.
Wow.
So yeah, I would just say, take really good care of them, and just take note on what they're doing, because really they're just being imaginative.
So to summarize, what I heard was allow your kids to dream big.
Yes.
Find out what their dreams are.
Yes.
And listen to them.
Yes.
Listen for the cues or the clues.
Yes. Listen for those clues that you'll just, and then you'll be able to pick up as this kid wants to do this. Let's
Right.
Let's support him.
Constantly look for clues about what makes kids' radars go up, because
Yes.
they're all different. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, Simon, I want to show another video.
Okay.
I got to run and make a phone call real quick.
Okay.
I know it's weird that I have to do this, but it's really important.
Okay.
But I need to run and do that real quick. So I want to show another performance that you did.
Yes.
And then I'll be right back. Okay.
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 Okay. Let's do it.
Hi everybody! Welcome to the show! It's gonna be a good one, and we're just getting started, and we have a lot to go over!
Where did you come from?
Tell me, Doctor, have you ever worn a hat?
I'm wearing one right now.
Well, if you wore a hat, you would know what it's like to wear a hat!
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's correct. What is Reporter Harry doing? What is happening?
You should try putting a hat on sometime.
I have one on, thank you. Why would you?
Because if you're wearing one, then that's when you know.
Okay.
That's when all your questions are answered.
Okay, thank you.
Hi everybody!
Can you please explain to me why you're here? How did you even get here?
Pastor Sean's taking a phone call, so reporter Harry was here, so we're just having him host it for now. So if you're good.
We're gonna get all of your questions answered if you just hold your horses.
Okay.
And while you're holding them, you should don't forget to put the saddles on them. Because if you ride them without a saddle, you may fall off. And if you're on the beach, that's not gonna work. Because that's when they get you.
I agree.
You ever tell me, doctor? You ever been at the beach?
Yes, many times.
You better wear a hat, because that sun'll cook your scalp.
I'd rather tan for a little bit before I put my hat on, actually.
Well, if you're at the beach, you want to be on a horse.
Okay. Why a horse, though? Why doesn't that
Because that's when they come out and they sap, and they're going to sap you up and sap you in and sap you out.
Okay.
I just did a rap. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
It's a rap song.
It's a rap song?
Hip hop and shark snaps.
Okay.
You want to see me dance?
Sure. I'm a little freaked out on what's about to happen here.
Tell me, doctor.
Okay.
You ever put your hat in a shoe?
Hat and a shoe. No.
Don't forget the saddles, because that's when they get you. Hey, everybody.
Okay.
Well, it's been a great show, I tell you.
Okay.
Sometimes you just gotta go out with a bang.
Okay. And what would that be?
Well, you just gotta know. That's the way it is. Hi, everybody. This is Reporter Harry saying, well, get your saddles on. Hi, everybody.
What is going on?
So sorry about that. Anyways,
You did not want to see
that
what
dance
this-
performance was amazing, Simon.
Thank
I mean,
you.
you were in front of all those kids in the school, and that's really impressed.
Thank you.
Really impressed.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm kind of caught between two worlds, kind of. Because you don't want to know what just happened earlier.
Right, because it's impressive that you do roller coastering,
Yes.
but also do hip hop and dance. Two worlds that one wouldn't think you would be doing both, but you do both very, very well.
Thank you.
And so, Simon, I want to say thank you for coming on our show today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You are continuing to inspire kids.
Yes.
But I think today you've also inspired kids pastors. And I want to take some of your wisdom.
Okay.
Listen to your kids' dreams. Let them dream big and take cues. Take those clues by
Correct.
allowing them to speak what really speaks to them.
Yes.
So, Simon, thank you so much.
Yes.
This has not been in my head. It's been in our head.
That's correct. It's been in
So-
our head.
Onward and upward, friend.
All right.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all.